Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and today we are honored with great guest, Gloria Haas. Welcome, Gloria. How are you doing?
Thank you, Dr. Moby. Thank you for having me on the show today. I'm having a pretty good day.
Good, very nice, and that's very important. Just an intro for Gloria. She is a TBI survivor, and we're going to discuss basically all the coping skills and everything which entail with TBI. So it's an important topic. A lot of veterans as well as other people suffer TBI. So we're going to learn about TBI in this episode. So let's go back, Gloria. So tell me, when did you have TBI?
I had it on February 10th of 2020.
February 10, 2020. And what do you remember the details?
Yes, I do. I had been under an enormous amount of stress where I had been living. And also, I had just resigned from a job that was just too high paced for me. And it was stressful having to quit, even though I enjoyed the people and I enjoyed the work. And I'm walking from the place of business to about half a mile down the road to the bus stop. Next thing I know, things were getting dark and darker. And I was looking around me and I'm thinking, didn't even think about what was going on. And next thing I know, I had hit my chin, the left side of my chin on the sidewalk, and the whole front of my body hit the concrete.
Okay. So was that first ever incident like this? It ever happened, or did you ever have it before?
No, this was the first time it had ever happened.
And did you lose consciousness?
Yes, I did. I did lose consciousness, and somebody saw me and asked me if I was okay and helped me up. And I felt fine other than my knee and chest hurting, and continued walking to the bus stop while I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone to come to see if she could pick me up at the bus station to take me to the ER.
Yes, and with TBI, did you had like a brief lapse, or did you remember all the incidents, or was that just kind of a few details which you remember?
I remembered everything that had happened, and I still do.
And then that must be very traumatic for you.
Well, I didn't think anything of it other than hurt. Well, it did afterwards, but at the time it didn't. My hand hurt from where it had hit the sidewalk, went to the ER. They took all the x-rays. Everything showed up fine. The MRI came up fine. And then it was like 7 to 10 days later when the concussion started showing and all the other stuff started showing up. So then it became quite difficult.
So it became very hard. And did you have a problem with concentration, memory?
Oh, yes. It took me 7 months to get my concentration and focus back. I had difficulty speaking. And because I have global brain damage, the MRI showed my reading level had gone from an adult reading level down to a second grade reading level. And it took me about 4 months to get that built back up. But it was a lot of hard.
So a lot of, yeah. So what about, did you had to be taken to the hospital?
Well, only right after when I had my fall, but I didn't go to the hospital after that. I was okay. I had gone to see the doctors and have all the x-rays done, and a physical therapy specialist who had called to send me to a neurologist so I could have all the other tests done.
So did they have to also So you went later on, and but initially you did not notice a lot of concentration problem, or did it kind of get worse with time?
It got worse with time. I was having a lot of migraine type headaches, and it felt like my head was full of cotton. I
Mhm.
had balance problems. I need to use a walker now, where before I didn't. Before I was walking 1 to 1.5 miles a day, and I could barely walk 1/10 of a mile to take my dog out.
Oh, must be hard. Did you have any problem with memory too?
Yes, and I still do.
Okay.
I forgot how to use my sewing machine
Hmm.
completely. Now I remember how to use it, but I'm not able to because the sewing foot the repeated motion of going up and down is overstimulating for my brain.
Hmm.
There are times where I have to sit in a dark room for 2 to 4 hours at a time if my brain has been overstimulated with too much music, talking on the phone too much, just to get everything to calm down.
Hmm. And so now there are two, of course, parts of the memory which we, the medical profession, kind of worry about. One is recent or kind of immediate recall, and then the other is previous memory. So did you have problem with both?
Yes, I did.
Mhm.
But the memory recall had gotten better. But my girlfriend had even asked me a question about what I had done with her daughter, an event that we had trained for. I don't even remember training or the event at all. Now I have brief glimpses,
Mhm.
but I've lost a lot of my memory. And people ask me, what did you forget? I say, I don't know. I don't know you don't know what you forget. You
Mhm.
just, just living in the moment is
Yeah.
all that you're remembering.
Okay. Yeah, that must be hard for not only you but also for the family.
Actually, I don't have family, so it's hard. I have close friends, and it was hard for them. And I
Mm-hmm.
still today, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I don't even remember what it was about, but I do remember that I had a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And other thing I think you have mentioned about was the headaches. So you were getting some of the headaches with it, right?
A lot of them, and in time, those have gotten fewer and fewer. Now, if my eyes are blasted with sunlight, if I forget to put on my sunglasses, or even if I have them on
Hmm.
because of being light sensitive from the fall, I will get a migraine type headache.
Okay, you'll get a migraine type headache. Okay. And do you take now? Do you have to be on medications for it?
No, I'm allergic to a lot of medications, so I just do everything without medication.
So you avoid basically going out to those triggers which would bring it on, right?
Right. Right now there was a point where I couldn't even be in an area with a lot of people. Grocery shopping was too much
Hmm.
because of all the activity. Now I've been told that I can go to small groups, small gatherings, but I do better one-on-one. But I notice I still have problems when it's two or more people.
Hmm.
So I do avoid anything that would just overwhelm my brain.
Okay. And what about, do you have also any medical issues before this, or did most of were healthy and then now all of a sudden you have a lot of problem?
Fibromyalgia and glaucoma before.
So that's not complicating, like some people have, prior injuries or prior problems, but that's in your case you were pretty otherwise, very good with those aspects, memory, concentration,
Yes.
and day to day. So I'm sure it must be very hard for you to, but good news is you're making progress, right? So
Yes.
you are.
And because every area and lobe of my brain was affected, including my brain stem. And that's what the MRI showed. There was a point where, with my right eye, If I read too much, my brain was overstimulated, I would lose the sight in my right eye for up to 2 hours. And then as it got better, it was just be blurry. So now for the first time, which is what, 8, 9 months out from the brain injury, I now have clear 20/20 vision out of my right eye.
Okay. So, you have, I'm sure you have learned a lot about brain by, looking at MRI, and also, the various parts of the brain, like you said, vision, as well as memory, concentration. So the executive functions, they're all different types of, functions which brain performs so well. But unfortunately, if you have some injury to that, so that area could be really affected, and there could be sometime, global issues if, people have other issues with it. That certainly, those are, that's like an eye opener for you, right?
Yes, and also I had asked the physical therapist specialist when she was talking, I said, I'm having difficulty understanding the English language. And she
Oh,
said, that's because your brain is overstimulated and not understanding, and it's trying to grasp, and also the brain damage. So there are still times where I have trouble understanding people talking English because it sounds like something sped up. So if somebody's also talking real fast, all it sounds like is a bunch of in my brain.
oh,
And yeah, that's an experience.
yeah, that is the experience. So, okay, so yeah, that is true. That is must be, and must be difficult, because in the past, of course, you were doing all those functions, and now they don't make. Now, did you have any problem with words, also finding words, or was just you can talk? Okay.
I'm not employable. I can do things on my own time and speed, but there's no way I could go into an office and work at this time. And I'm told that I have probably up to 4 to 6 years of recovery.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, that must be, hard for you to kind of, also, I'm sure it affects a lot of mood and sleep too. Were you having problem with sleep too with it? I know with fibromyalgia, a lot of people have it.
Yes, and I had to read about how to reset my circadian rhythm so I could sleep because I was having difficulty sleeping. And usually I'm a morning person, get up and was able, and my personality is completely different. And it was like I would get up in the morning and I couldn't, I'd be dragging. So I would,
Hmm.
then in the afternoon, I would have my energy. And then I was able to reset my circadian rhythm with being able to get up in the morning, and then in the, like my rhythm was before, in the afternoon I rest. But I can't get past 7:30, 8 o'clock at night before I need to go to sleep.
Hmm.
Or before I could stay up till 10, 11, and now I'm an early bird to go to bed. And
Oh, so so you are waking up early now. You used to be late.
yeah, I used to go to sleep 9, 10 o'clock at night, wake up at 5 or 6. And now I go to bed 7:30, 8 o'clock at night and wake up 5 or 6.
So it has changed your rhythm completely, circadian rhythm.
Yes, it has.
Oh wow, that's a lot of change to your brain. Okay. Also, tell me, what are some of the therapies are you getting right now? So, for audience to kind of get the idea, if somebody has TBI, then what are the first of all, where are the resources? I'm sure you are seeing specialists for those, right?
I am seeing, well, I was seeing a physical therapist, but I was having 5 bad days and 2 good days.
Mhm.
And so once I noticed that I was doing just repeated exercises, and I was actually staying the same with physical therapy after 2 months for me, I stopped going, and I've made more progress at home doing the therapies here at the house when I could. And I have anywhere from 3 to 5 good days a week. If I, with my brain, I have to make sure that I don't get around a lot of aromas. But I'm also seeing a behavioral health therapist who
Mm-hmm.
specialized in working with people with brain injuries, people who had been in comas, and rehabilitated them, because I have to learn, because when the brain's first injured, like a stroke patient, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have anything nice to say, because that's what, it's not, your brain doesn't filter. My brain, doesn't filter between good and bad, and all that comes out is not very nice words. And also, I found out that with working with the therapist, how to retrain my brain to what I think I'm saying in my head to what is actually coming out, so where I record myself so I can hear it. Because sometimes in my head, I think I'm sounding nice, but then when I play it back, I sound like somebody who's angry and mad, and I'm not feeling that at all. But I'm also learning how to talk again to people with the niceties and thanking them. And that's what I've had to completely retrain around all over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that must be a lot of learning again, and um, but thing is, good thing is brain, like other organs, do heal. Things do heal, and everybody's pace is different. Some people heal faster than the other. First of all, some might not have injury effects a lot sometimes, and some might have a small injury. Even I mean, you had a lot of injury to a lot of parts of brain, but some people only get even a very tiny part, and they have devastating effects, so because we are all wired differently.
We are. This was my third major concussion, but because I had been abused growing up with my mother hitting me in the head, that is why I have the global damage. It finally showed up on an MRI. It was brought to the surface from the impact.
No.
It all depends, like you said, on the part of the brain. You could have a little accident and really be impaired, because it all depends on which part of the brain gets a lot of the damage.
And like you said, if you had before, and maybe so there's a cushion in all organs, which some functionality people can lose but still able to function. But once you kind of miss the critical portion, or once you kind of hit the reserves, then you will see a lot of deficits happening, and that's what happens. Same with the brain. But good news is, like, the body has amazing capability of healing. But main thing is we have to stay positive and keep working on it. It takes time, patience, a lot of patience. With a nerve injury, brain injury, or stroke patients. But they do, if you look at data, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the road, they improve to much better what they had, which is good news, right?
Yes, it is. Like my therapist said, your memory has a history. It will eventually remember it. And I was reading in a book that when your brain is damaged, it starts working immediately to take the synapses, start working the neural pathways, the axioms, the neurons. They're all working to find a new way to healthy tissue. So it's very important for us to stimulate our brain a little bit to help it along. And also neuroplastic exercises have helped a lot.
Okay. Well, tell me, we have learned a lot about some of the music therapy and others with brain injuries. Did you find it helpful?
Yes, classical music, because it uses both sides of the brain. I found that meditation music very soft, and it depends on what time of day, but I listen to it and it will help calm my brain down.
Okay, great.
And so that way I can rest, and that way it can do the healing it needs to do, and I'm relaxing, and that also helps healing.
Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so also, that um, is gonna really work great for you, because the music is very good. We have seen with a lot of injuries, and then that it has a very good effect on the brain neurons.
Mhm.
So, and then it helps to build, and not to mention some of the memory portions, because you listen to the music, you remember. And language, you were saying you were having difficulty with certain languages, portion that you couldn't make sense out of those words, right? So,
Right.
and that music probably has more of simple tones, so probably it will definitely help you a lot. And you're working with therapists, that is great. So, thank you for coming and sharing your experience, and we wish you really well, and keep improving, and come back later and update us how things are still going. Thank you for bringing up the awareness on TBI. A lot of people don't understand that, the brain, we are gifted with so many things, but we don't realize till we lose certain portion that how gifted we were, you know. So, and we keep working on that for you, and hope that things keep better and better for you. So, any final thoughts you have for my audience?
Well, just like the doctor said, be patient. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. And word find programs, crossword puzzles are great for rebuilding your word recall. And don't get upset that you might not be able to recall a word, because I went through that. It's like, that's a word. Just know that through persistence,
Mm-hmm.
that you can get better.
That is true. And thank you, and good luck. And hopefully, you'll be keep improving and come back and update us and our audience. And take care. Thank you for coming to our show. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.